You have reached the Geek Elite. Good luck.
Join Geek Elites Jessica and John as they open the VHS Gems treasure box of nostalgia. Rediscover the movies from the time of auxiliary cables, blockbuster rentals, and automatic rewind machines. See if these gemstone movies still hold their luster, or if they should be polished and recut for a more modern appeal, or even if it's time to let them turn to dust. New episodes of VHS Gems are released Thursdays at noon Arizona time on geekelitemedia.com and a podcatcher near you.
Well, it's that time once again to take that journey into mystery as Ian and myself talk about Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. How did you enjoy this movie, Ian?
I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much that I told everybody else to get out of the car and I locked the doors. It's just you and I today. And it's good. It's the original formula. It's the original recipe, extra crispy. Mitch Defer, this is what we're talking about. All right,
I love it. Be good. I love it. That's right. It's just the two of us, and we're talking about Shang-Chi, and you know this movie has so many great high points. I do have a few things that I had issue with, but overall, it's an enjoyable movie. I mean, it's a Marvel movie. It's in there, and they're taking big swings, and that's what's awesome.
Right. It was really nice and really refreshing to see them really shift gears and try something completely outside of the normal Marvel formula and have it succeed in the way that it did. And we can dive deeper into that later.
Yep. Because first, we're going to talk about a new trailer that dropped for a Disney Plus Marvel series called Hawkeye. Then we're going to get into the last two episodes of What If, because we didn't talk about those yet. And then we'll end with our discussion of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Hawkeye. I am a big Hawkeye fan. I am a big Archer in the comics kind of fan. So Green Arrow and Hawkeye are two of my big characters. This trailer looks great. I love the fact that it's set at Christmas. I love the fact that you get this Lethal Weapon kind of buddy cop film a vibe from it, and there's a lot of cool little nods to different Hawkeye storylines that you see, and especially with the hearing aid. It's a thing that most people forget, that Hawkeye is deaf, or at the very I believe he's deaf. So the fact that they might be going towards him losing his hearing is something pretty interesting.
Excuse me. My words betrayed me. No, I really enjoyed it. I don't know. I have a general understanding of Hawkeye. I've read enough Avengers. I've never really read his standalone or anything like that. But I have a working knowledge of Hawkeye, so I can go into something and be like, all right, I get it. I'm here. You know what I mean? But I'm excited about this. The trailer looked really good. I liked the chemistry that they showed between the two of them. It looks like, just like you said, it's going to be a really fun buddy cop ride. If Hawkeye doesn't say I'm too old for this shit at least once, I will be a little disappointed.
I mean, I want him to say the line too, but being on Disney Plus, I don't think they're gonna get away with saying shit. I don't know. I don't remember in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Did he say it? I feel like that'd be the place to say it.
Right. I want something along those lines. They're 2 days away from retirement.
Well, that's one of the things I love about this trailer. Also, there's the scene where he's putting all those like ice packs on himself because he's not a super soldier with the serum going through his body. He's not half robot. He's not using a heart shape, or he's not the thunder god from Norway. Like, he is a regular dude that just is able to shoot arrows really well from training, but so he's still succumbing to age, fatigue, like all that kind of stuff.
So my question about Hawkeye really quick, and we don't need to get too into it. It's could just be a yes or no, unless you want to educate me, Mitch. Is it just bows that Hawkeye is like super accurate with, or is it any projectile?
So no, it's usually just bows in the 616. So if you go into Ultimate comic books or Ultimate Marvel, before Ultimate Marvel got like pushed into the 616 universe, there was a scene, and basically the Hawkeye that you have in the MCU is similar to the Hawkeye in Ultimate Marvel more than he is the 616. But there's a scene where, as an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., like I don't know if it's Hydra or someone else, but it's the bad guys. They have him like tied up in a room, and he takes his fingernails and rips them off and like flicks them across the room and kills people with them. Like, he's basically Bullseye in the Ultimate Marvel universe.
You know what? I'm here for that. like I'm super down for that. Just because, like, why not? The dude understands. The dude, he gets it. Like, everything is gonna fly a little bit differently, but I mean, like, yeah, he's the most accurate man in the world. Like, let's go.
I'm for it. But Haley Steinfeld as Kate Bishop coming into the program, she's like, some people say that I'm the world's greatest archer. And she's like, are you one of those people? I love that line.
Right. That was a great line. She was rocking the Ronin look.
Right? That is totally a departure from the storyline, because for those who haven't read Avengers Disassembled, this was the storyline that basically the Avengers all get toppled by one person, and you don't come to find out who that one person is until late to the very end of the story, and I won't spoil that for you. But in that story, Hawkeye gets killed. He straight up gets killed. He gets murdered. So when he dies, that's when we get the Young Avengers. And Kate Bishop comes in as Hawkeye, and she has Olympic level training of how to use a bow and arrow. And so she takes on the name of Hawkeye. This, for whatever reason, she's taking on the name of Ronin. Like, she's decided to make that her own.
Which I'm kind of here for.
Oh.
Because, like, I'm kind of super here for, because I haven't shied away from this on this show at all. I have very deep roots in DC as opposed to Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of the meme around the show of like, let's right. So it's like, I only know kind of what I'm talking about. But I liked like Arsenal and Red Arrow more than Speedy.
Nice. Okay.
So if you're going to give me an angle where the protege is taking on their own identity, or an identity that's not really a good thing,
right,
and making it their own, like that instantly has my attention.
You know what? I get it, and I'm all for it. But I mean, obviously, it looks like she's throwing on her classic purple outfit so that she's going to be more the Hawkeye name. Hawkeye's obviously taking her in to train her to be better. And the other thing is that in the comic books, after he gives the name of Hawkeye over to Kate Bishop, he takes on the name of Ronin, but then he decides, you know what? Eventually he wants to be Hawkeye again, and they can both be Hawkeye, so they both end up being Hawkeye. Well, the name Ronin still is out there, and it needs to be somebody. And that ends up being Echo, which is a person we see in this trailer. The actress playing Echo shows up in the trailer, which very interesting character altogether. Also deaf.
I like that. And I think that this is a really good, like, I like Hawkeye's villains and the concept of Hawkeye being deaf and all that kind of stuff because it's very like it's a huge departure from your super soldiers, and it's somebody who's just able to do the thing very well, but you wouldn't expect them to be able to do the thing based on like just based on conditions, right?
Right.
It's like with Hawkeye particularly, I really enjoyed him in Old Logan,
Yes.
where he was completely blind,
Mm-hmm.
and that was awesome.
Yeah. No.
So I think it'd be really cool to see as we go forward. I don't want this to happen, but it would be interesting to see him get more and like to see the years catch up with him.
Yes. No, exactly. That's the interesting part of that. That's another interesting part of that character. But also to go back to the actress that is playing Echo, her name is Aloka Cox. Aqua Cox. She is also a amputee. She has an amputated leg. I don't know what it was that happens to be the why she did, but she wears a prosthetic leg, and that is going to be an interesting turn for the character.
Yeah, I really like that. Like it's well done casting.
Yes,
Marvel and
very.
Disney. I'm proud of you. Like, well done.
I mean, they don't take our suggestions enough.
Nope.
But they are doing well on their own.
I mean, it's what it is. I thought you were gonna give me. I thought you were gonna give me some cool queer representation with Loki, but you didn't really end up doing that. So like, whatever. I'm not mad about that. But now you're kind of making up for it by giving other marginalized folks some time to be there, and like, good on you for that.
Good on you for that. So yes, I am super looking forward to this series. It looks like it's going to be out by Christmas. So
hell yes. Is it bad that the beginning of the trailer gave me like Home Alone vibes?
I think it's supposed to give you Home Alone vibes.
Okay. I think it would be great if like season 2 was Kate Bishop by herself setting up elaborate traps for bad guys.
I will be there for that too. Which, we're getting to it early in the show, but Kate Bishop, Young Avengers, it's happening. We got Kate Bishop. We have Elijah. Yeah, Elijah Bradley, Eli Bradley. We have possibly Wanda's twins. Like they're all coming together.
I mean, and with the addition of the end of Loki, we have potential for some other folks from the Young Avengers. I don't want to spoil too much, but like, it's there.
It's there.
You know what I'm talking about, Mitch.
Yes, I do. And you know what? If they're listening to us, they know what we're talking about too.
Fine. I mean, yeah, it's what's his face, carrying as young man Iron Man.
It's Iron Lad.
Iron Sir. The metallic gentleman.
That's right. Yes, so
I couldn't remember Iron Lad for whatever reason.
You know what? I like Iron Sir better anyway, so it's okay. Let's get into talking about What If.
Perfect.
The first episode we coming back to is what if Doctor Strange had lost his heart instead of his hands? I mean, wow. Like they just laid on the metaphor there, didn't they?
Yup. And before we go too far into it, I think it needs to be said, I love that they got, for the most part, everybody to come do their own voices.
Yes.
And it's very helpful. That way I'm not going like, that's not what Strange sounds like. that's not Wong. That's not
man, that's the Christine.
Mm-hmm.
Christine, what is her last name? Adler? Or is it Irene Adler is her character from Sherlock Holmes? It's Christine something. Anyways, yeah, it's good. I do like it when they can get the voices back. When we get to the next one that we're going to talk about, they didn't get. There was a couple voices they didn't get, and I was like, I was actually very surprised with one of them.
There was the if it's the one I think it is, I'm like, how was that hard? We'll get there. We'll get there.
So this one, I love the idea because Doctor Strange is all about time, right? The first movie is about time. The second, this What If is about time. Essentially, the Ancient One sees what it is that Doctor Strange is doing and stops him at one point and splits him into two. One person that goes forward in the timeline, the other one that goes backwards in the timeline. And when that one goes backwards in timeline and tries to figure out a way to save Christine, by absorbing all these mystical and celestial like creatures to make his power more.
With a cameo from the Hydra monster that they were summoning
Captain Carter.
Yeah, Captain Carter.
The first
words
episode.
are really hard for me today, Mitch. I don't understand it.
It's, you know what? It's really hot where we live. Our brains are baking. Yes, it's not easy for me
Literally.
either.
Yeah. It's all these like they're right there, and I should know these. But yeah, the Hydra monster that the Hydra was summoning in Captain Carter was there.
Yes, and I love the fact that he goes up against it first and it just wallops him, and then he comes back to it later and just eventually becomes this giant Cthulhu monster like creature that does everything he can to save Christine, and then in doing so like tears apart the fabric of existence for that world.
I mean, we know it from watching this episode, but I mean, if you watch Doctor Who, you know you can't change a fixed point in time.
I love that you just brought in Doctor Who. I love it.
You can't change that. It's a fixed point in history. How many times does the Doctor have to tell us that?
All right. It's so many times. So many
times. Like, I get that. I get that Strange is a world-renowned surgeon and all this stuff, but like, he doesn't have time to watch a lot of TV. He seems like a dude who'd probably be really good at Doctor Who, because
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But yes, the battle between, I guess, good Doctor Strange and bad Doctor Strange was pretty
Battle
awesome.
Of the Stranges.
And then the fact that you have the good cape and the bad cape was just so cool. I love that Beetle has a cape on, and then he's like, I'm not going to take you because you're not powerful enough, but I really like that cape.
Yoink. Would you say that the two of them are estranged?
Bum.
Yeah. See you next week, everybody. Mitch, tell about the Patreon.
I was about to bring in that was a Fozzie Bear joke right there. Like, then we're gonna get on this whole Muppets as the Avengers thing again.
We're gonna do it eventually, Mitch.
Once again, patreon.com/GeekEliteMedia. You could get us to do the Muppets as Avengers.
I want that so bad.
Overall,
the good cape versus bad cape was probably my favorite little nonsense, little tiny thing between the two. And it was great.
Which is also an interesting one because, like, the end of this one ends in, obviously, like, they all kind of end in a bad note, I guess, except for the T'Challa, like, Star-Lord one. But they all, like, this one ends in, like, the whole reality just gets erased. It gets torn apart. While as Uatu just sits there and, well, watches. So, I mean, obviously the Avengers getting killed one ends with Loki taking over. Captain Carter ends with Captain Carter going to the future and not getting to be with Steve. Like, none of them really end happy except for the T'Challa Star-Lord one.
You've seen all the Uatu memes, right? About just like, hold on, let me get my popcorn.
I saw the one where it's talking about how he watched Doctor Strange do the whole like dying over and over fighting Dormammu, and he's like, "Oh, this is still good after the 600th time." Yeah, that one always
be the Watcher.
That would be the Watcher.
Like how boring would that be to be the Watcher, where you're just like, all right, let's see what's on over here. Oh, cool, they're doing it again. All right.
Which, like, you would think that each reality has its own Watcher, but like he's getting to see the different realities. I don't know.
So he exists. Would all the Watchers get together for a watch party? Like,
do they have to do it virtually?
I mean, social distancing is a thing. It's important because he can't meet anybody to get vaccinated. So, like, it's a thing. You have to watch out for your friends.
I mean, once he gets vaccinated, then he's interfering with the events of the reality, and
exactly. So, like, he's the only one all allowed to not get vaccinated. Everybody else should go get vaccinated.
Everybody else should definitely go get vaccinated.
Yep. I don't want to hear it. Your science. Never mind. I'm not going to get into that.
But yes, like this episode, I really dug the Cthulhu Elder Gods horror of it. But it's still I don't know how I feel about the series so far. I really don't.
It's hit or miss for me. Captain Carter still had one of the coolest action sequences in the entire MCU to me.
Oh yes,
when she's jumping around through planes, like legitimately fighting planes. Like, that's what? Yes. It's just animated beautifully. The animation throughout the whole thing is beautiful. It's really well done. A point in the pros column for this is that they're not just going through the what if books.
True.
And reanimating those.
Right. Yeah, these are solely made for the MCU and it shows, which is great. It's all ties together. But the next episode we're going to talk about does have its place in the Marvel Comics continuity. Marvel Zombies. What if Marvel Zombies? This doesn't.
I loved it.
This doesn't follow the Marvel Zombies comic book traditionally, but it does have its own MCU spin. And once again, Hank Pym is to blame for everything going bad in this reality.
So what we've learned to this point is Hank Pym sucks. Like, one way or another, Hank Pym is gonna doom us all. And it brings me back around to fucking Ultron. If we had just waited like 2 years and done Ultron after Ant-Man, we could have had Hank Pym build Ultron the way that he was supposed to, and I think it would have made him scarier.
It would have made him scarier. You're absolutely right.
In which case, Hank Pym still sucks.
I really loved the beginning of the episode where, Bruce as Hulk comes crashing down just like at the beginning of Infinity War. He's like, Thanos is coming, and then nobody greets him, and he's like, hey, what's going on? And then just zombies everywhere. Even the powerful Black Order couldn't stand up to becoming a zombie,
which is terrifying.
Very.
Like, oh my god, the implications of some of these zombies is just absolutely horrifying. The Maw as a zombie, like, oh no, that man didn't care to begin with. If you put a ceaseless hunger behind that telekinetic power, okay, good luck running away. He has free food for the rest of his life.
No, there's a reason why you had to have the zombie Avengers come in and like deal with them quickly and just like take them down. And then you have, was it Zombie Iron Man going after Bruce Banner and he's not hulking out like that. It's insane.
Nah, I think I have kind of a power rankings in my head of like zombies I wouldn't want to fuck with. Obviously Iron Man, because that suit, it's just dumb. You put a zombie in an Iron Man suit and it's game over. But like the warlocks between Strange and Wong, like, okay, you're done because apparently they still know how to do their magic.
I mean, everybody has their power still, which is insane. I mean, look at when we get to Scarlet Witch, like the Scarlet Witch. No. Come on.
And first off, how did she let herself get bit?
Exactly. How did Iron Man get bit? If she
manipulates reality, can she just be like, "Nah, I never got bit"? Like, hello? For real though?
No. So yeah, when you get to Vision is like luring people in to just feed the Scarlet Witch, even though he's kind of figured out how to save people. Like that was insane.
So I think this one might be my favorite one from the What If so far.
Okay.
My biggest qualms with it are the fact that Vision sucks. Like, Vision's a scumbag. And a coward, by the way. We'll talk about that. And Tom Holland doesn't voice Peter.
Yeah, Tom Holland does not voice Peter.
How is he hard to get for you, Disney? He called you crying to be Spider-Man.
You know what? I wonder if it's a contract thing. Because, like, this is a Disney show with an animated Spider-Man instead of being a Sony thing.
I thought they worked out their differences.
Well, maybe not with this thing. We'll see. Maybe there's going to be other Spider-Man stories in the What If. Maybe they got Tom Holland to be in the other ones. Because I don't think it was Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa on this one, right?
Well, I don't think so, but I mean that's with reason.
I understand, but if they already had him in the booth to do the T'Challa Star-Lord, I'm sure he could have done the few lines where he's like, "They've been feeding me to the Scarlet Witch," kind of lines.
Right. Nah.
However, we got Paul Rudd back as Scott Lang, and funny Paul Rudd, like as a head in a jar.
It's like Futurama Paul Rudd. Like,
oh yeah.
I loved Futurama Ant-Man. Like, that was fantastic. You guys can high five about it if you want. I won't feel left out. Like, that's beautiful.
Oh man, like they just allowed Paul Rudd to come in and play Scott Lang as himself, which is awesome.
Also, in this one we had Kurt, who's the like Eastern European ex-burglar with them from the Ant-Man movies,
right?
But they didn't have Luis.
They didn't.
We didn't see anything. We didn't see a Luis zombie, which would have been really funny because he's a zombie trying to explain to other zombies what's been going on. This also would have been, instead of the like shitty home movie that Peter made, they could have had Luis explain what's been going on with the zombies.
Yep.
Like there were times I feel like you missed out.
That's a big missed opportunity right there.
Well, a huge missed opportunity. All right, so check it out, right? So Hank Pym, he went out and he like that would have been the best way.
And you know those really cool movies with the zombies? Well, now that we're living in it.
now we're in one, man. Like, hey.
I did love that they got Denai Guerrera back as Okoye. Like, I love her as Okoye. Like, she does such a good job in everything. And even this, just doing voice work, like she is so present in it just brings the acting chops every time I see her.
Absolutely. I want to talk about the fact that this is at least for me, this is the episode that has the most emotion in it.
Ooh.
Like Doctor Strange losing his heart, that was sad.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was designed to be sad, right? With this one, obviously it's written. There's going to be some heartache, some loss involved. It's a zombie. It's in the zombie like genre,
right?
That's what you do in that one. But like with Pete being the key piece of the heartbreak, in the line of like, how do you keep smiling? Well, my Aunt May used to say like, we have to because they can't.
Right.
And then later on, when he was like, I can't lose any more friends today.
And T'Challa's like,
yeah,
if you remember them, then they always live. Like, kind of, it's like, oh, jeez.
It was beautiful and it hurt, and it was like, oh my god, especially because like, I'm assuming we're operating under a whole spoiler alert.
Oh
here.
yeah.
So like, when Happy died. And he caught on that Happy died. Like the look on his face, it was just like, oh, bud, oh my guy.
Yep.
Like, and it was just like punch in the heart after punch in the heart after like terrible thing after Vision being an absolute shitbag. Like when you meet the Vision, you're like, hell yeah, we're saved. Like this is great. Like obviously the zombies don't want him because he's an android. So why isn't he just flying around like wiping them out?
Right.
Like, why isn't he just doing the thing? Because he's a freaking coward.
Yep.
Like, that's what it boils down to.
And he's blinded by love.
You're dumb. Shut up. Get out of here. You're a robot. You don't know what love is.
Also, like, where is Captain Marvel in all this? Like, she should have the power. Like, or what happens if she gets turned? Like, that's another big
game
one.
over.
Yeah, game over.
Legitimately.
Speaking of, like, the end of the episode is all of Wakanda is turned with a Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Missing one stone.
Well, yeah, it's still missing the stone that they're bringing to it.
The stone to him. I hope when they get to Wakanda that they can give Paul Rudd like a vibranium body.
That would be pretty cool. I love that he got the cape though. The cape was like cool. They flying him around.
The cape was rad. Okay, zombie Infinity Gauntlet Thanos is nope.
Yeah, nope.
This is the best way. Let's just introduce Adam Warlock real quick.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Let's just like put him in the mix because I don't think zombies would want anything to do with him either.
Nope, probably not.
So let him come through, wreck up Infinity Gauntlet Thanos, and then he can also whoop up on zombie Captain Marvel because why not? And then he's just like, okay, bye. I'm gonna go be perfect.
I want to bring up one thing. Like, it's very touching what happens to Hope, and her sacrifice and all that stuff. But why not with your last act do you not shrink down? You're gonna turn into a zombie, and then all of a sudden, giant zombie.
Right. And the amount of times that they've actually finally given us the example of what would happen if they just like expanded inside of somebody's body, with the whole like Ant-Man and Thanos' butt thing.
Yep.
Like that. It's about time. And I think they need to give Paul Rudd his moment to talk about it.
I didn't someone ask them that at a convention, and he was like, I hadn't heard this yet.
Yeah, but I mean, like, give him the moment in the show to be like, all right, I know how we do this.
There has to be an episode where his particular Ant-Man is going to be the star, right? Like,
there has to be. Even if it's, what if Scott Lang never got out of jail?
Oh, that's interesting.
Because then it's the Hope doing everything.
Yeah.
Not in the Wasp suit, though.
Right. In the Ant-Man suit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. No, we still don't know. I don't know what the other ones are, who's the stories are about, but I'm excited.
What if the X-Men existed?
Oh. Well, we didn't talk about this in the news section, but they did announce a whole bunch of like 2022 and 2023 dates for Marvel movies, and they're untitled, so don't exactly know which ones there are.
Mitch, you can stay here for this conversation. Marvel, hi, I'm looking directly at you for this one because I want Mitch here as a witness for this. Give me mutants. How many times do I have to ask? Give me mutants. And if you want, I will send you a notarized list of all of the mutants that I want.
Don't fret. No, not fret. Don't be turned off by the fact that Nightwing will be on the first one, even though Nightwing's not a mutant or a Marvel character.
Yeah, no. You know what? Give me Nightwing, and then give me Damian Wayne, just so I can say, "Get out of here, Damian Wayne. Nobody likes you."
But then mutants also.
But then nothing but mutants. That we're gonna get Nightcrawler. We're gonna get Bishop. We're gonna get we're gonna get Cannonball. We're gonna get.
It's a long list, Marvel.
Well, Mitch, help me out here.
We're definitely gonna give me Beast because that's my character. So we're gonna get Beast in there, and then you have to get Mystique because they're probably gonna want Katniss Everdeen to come back. Jennifer Lawrence.
Right. And you know what? Give me Darwin, but make him actual Darwin.
Yeah.
You shit.
A good character.
Right. You know what? Also, we've already seen him, but toss Azazel in the mix because he was cool, but make it the same guy. In fact, we'll just cut him out of First Class, and we're just going to use all those assets again.
There we go. Let's just bring First Class in.
Yeah. And give us Old Man Havoc.
Ooh.
He's just cranky and old. but no Cyclops.
Here, I'll give you a crazy one. Give us some Chamber. That's right.
Ooh.
Pyrokinetic face psionic thing guy.
When he has no jaw, it's just fire.
Yep, that's right. Chamber.
I'd be so down. And while you're at it, I don't know if he's a mutant or not. Give us is it Jack of Hearts? Jack of Spades?
Jack of Hearts is not a mutant, he's an alien.
Okay.
But it's okay.
But never mind. You know what? Put him on the list too. He's cool as shit. And if we're bringing in Fringy Avengers, I want Two Gun Kid, damn it.
That's it. When you get to the Two Gun Kid on the list, that's it. The list is done. I love it.
And the Wiz. Mitch, sign it and send it out.
I'm gonna get it notarized first, and then I'll send it over to Disney.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kevin Feige, I'm coming to hang out. We got things to talk about. Well, that's What If Zombies. So I hope you enjoyed it.
It's the dumbest tangent I've ever done. I'm sorry, Mitch.
Don't be sorry. Let's get into talking about Shang-Chi. So if you have not yet watched Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, please pause the podcast, go watch it, talk about it with your friends, come back and talk about it with us.
Or don't complain when we spoil it for you.
That's right.
Because
can't complain.
Yep.
Yes, enjoyable film. I definitely enjoy it. Is this in the top of my list of Marvel movies? It is not. It is not in the bottom. Unfortunately, like, all the things it sounds like you enjoyed or you really liked about the movie, Ian, I kind of had issue with, and I know it's completely me. Like, I guess I was going into it thinking of it following the Marvel origin story like formula, and it doesn't, which should be a good thing. But for me, it just felt off.
See, I really liked that we got the origin story throughout the movie.
Right.
And we didn't get the exposition up front. Mm-hmm. That we were like, hey, cool, here's this dude, Sean. And Sean's just kind of living his life, doing his thing. Whoa, big bad thing happened. Whoa, right? Like, and now we're going to pepper in some backstory exposition for flavor. Aquafina joke. Like, I liked it. It didn't feel like a Marvel movie at first. Mm-hmm. And I think that was a good thing, at least in my opinion.
No, and I think you're absolutely right. I think the whole movie doesn't feel like a Marvel movie. And I think they purposely did that. And honestly, I don't think I think that the Wong and Abomination showing up in the fight ring had to have been an afterthought, because I think they got through most of this movie and were like, wait, we don't have any other Marvel characters in this. Like, nothing's going on. And so then they were like, well, who would be in this fight ring? And they picked Abomination and Wong.
Who are apparently homies.
They're homies. So that was a weird part of that scene too. Like when they go in the locker room and the two of them, he's like, "I told you, you can't be pulling that punch like that, or like you have to. We didn't train it that way."
A little bit.
So it's like, is this supposed to be like WWE professional wrestling kind of thing? Because then they go off into a training ring.
I don't know. But I mean, I kind of liked it because that gives like some mysterious depth to Wong. I was just like, what are you doing over there, bud?
He's making more money so he can get tuna melts.
Right. I'm down. I liked it. Did you notice in that scene, by the way, when they're asking like, so is Sean going to be fighting in one of these? And they're like, no, main stage. But the cell they're looking at is one of the soldiers from Iron Man 3.
So that's what I was like curious. Like I was so curious about all the different those cells, like those little boxes that people were fighting in. I guess I didn't put that together that would have been a person with a extremis inside of them. Yeah. Yeah.
So it was an extremis dude, and what gives it away is he gets punched, and where he gets punched is all like lit up, and then he like punches then it all like goes to his hand and he does it, and it's like, oh hey, that's kind of cool. Like good callback. This movie's full of a lot of Iron Man 3 callbacks.
That is weird, and I mean it makes sense because Mandarin and that nature, but yeah, which I want to just jump to that real quick.
Least favorite part of the movie for me.
I did not expect Ben Kingsley to be in so much of this movie.
Yeah, I think it would have been a really good one-off joke.
Yes.
But I don't feel like he had any reason being in the rest of it.
No. Like, I get it that they used him as the translator for Maurice, but, like, we could have wrote something else in, right? So that Maurice could just showed them. And when you get to the point, like, at the end, when everybody in Ton Lao, was that the name of the city?
I think so. I'm really bad at names.
Yeah. When we get to the mystical city and like so many people are dead and he's just like making a joke, is like, hey, play dead. I'm like, that seems bad.
That seems kind of shitty.
Yeah.
But then again, like, nothing he's shown us about himself throughout his one stint in the MCU has painted him to not be a shitty person.
This is true. This is very true.
So I don't know if we can hold that against him.
Fair. You're absolutely right.
Obviously, we call that shit out, but like, should we expect any different from him?
I mean, you're completely right. It's following with his character that they've set for him, but like, did we need to put that in the movie? Like, did that need to be written in? It seems so out of place with the rest of the movie, especially with what the scenes that is going on right there.
I also think that the existence of Maurice or Morris, whatever the hell the thing's the little furry thing, I don't think it needed to exist.
No, I'm sure they could have found another way to get through the maze. Which,
I mean,
has anybody ever? Go ahead. I was going to say, has anybody ever heard of a helicopter? Could you just fly over?
Right. Because unless it's just like you're going through the specific maze and stepping through a dimension like while you're doing it.
Maybe.
But I don't know. I don't know. Like, just those two characters were the worst part of the movie for me.
Yeah. It's a weird part of the movie. I get it. You're selling the Maurice dolls now. Way to go, Disney.
Like, oh my God, it's cute. Do we need it?
You know what I want? I want a foo dog. Those things were awesome.
They were badass. I'm like, hell yeah. And so we're kind of jumping all over the place. But we're still talking about the Mystic City here. All their shit being made of dragon scale.
That's pretty awesome.
Awesome? Like, yeah. And because I'm terrible at names, Shang-Chi's sister,
Xiaoling.
Xiaoling. They gave her the like dragon scale
Chain and dart.
yeah,
Whatever that
like the
thing's.
chain of dart or like
Yeah.
the whatever, like the meteor whip or whatever the hell
Yeah.
it's called. Like, just like that's badass. That thing was cool as shit.
She is so good at that. Like, that's one of the things that I thought was interesting about this movie, because they don't call him Shang-Chi, the master of kung fu or master of martial arts, like he is in the comic books, right?
Nope.
He might not be the best person in this movie, like at the martial arts.
At least at this point.
Right. And that was one thing
Like-
I did enjoy. Like, I don't know, when we get to the Mystic City and his aunt, played by Michelle Yeoh, is teaching him like the ways of their martial arts, he picks up on it quick, which just goes to show that he is good at martial arts. But like, I guess the issue I had with like the Aquafina character, Katie, learning how to be so good with a bow and arrow in like an afternoon didn't make any sense to me. And I get that they call it out. She's like, and I literally only just picked it up that day, so it's weird that I was able to hit this dragon's throat like at the end or whatever. But I was just like, just because you call it out doesn't mean it's okay.
See, and my thought, maybe I just kind of explained it away to myself, was we spend the whole movie being told that she's been wasting her potential.
And I get that, but like the thing that they showed us in the earlier part of the movie is that she's really good at driving. So if you would have
True.
given me something else where like she's taking pieces of paper and throwing it in a wastebasket and like keeps making it, I would have been like, okay, she already has like good aim and I can extrapolate from there. But what they gave us was driving, not aim.
True. True. Not all right. Yeah. So I definitely just like explained it away for myself. But what you're saying makes total sense. Touching on the martial arts style of the Mystic City, there, you're gonna give us that, and not expect me to go, hey, I'm not Shyamalan. This is what bending should have looked like.
I mean, they were definitely airbending throughout that, which
Like, yeah.
yeah, I mean the whole movie eventually comes to a head where Shang has to learn that balance is the key to doing whatever you need to do, which is a great message. Yes, I love it. You are part your father, you are part your mother. You have to take your good with your bad. Like, everything has to be in balance so that you can succeed at what you're doing. It took me. Did you ever watch Jet Li's The One?
Yes.
So that's literally all I can think about in the movie, because in Jet Li the One, you have the evil version of his character, which I can't remember the name of his character at the moment.
Jet Li's the one.
Yeah, who does the style
That's
of
his character's name.
Is that that's the character name? Okay, good. Who does the style of kung fu that's just like a straight line and comes at you hard, whereas the good guy version does the style of kung fu that's balanced and moves in circles and does more counter punches and stuff like that. Like, that's exactly what we learned in this, because the father character, the Mandarin, the Wee Win, something like that. Wu Win, that was his name. He does the straightforward, like, he uses the rings in a way that is, obviously as he's punching that dragon scale wall, straight up just force. Whereas when the one person we see defeat him before Shang comes along is the mother, who uses the counter punches and air bending and all that stuff to be like, look, anything you send at me, I'm just redirecting back at you, kind of thing.
Especially with stealing the rings, which I thought was real cool.
Oh yeah.
Like in the fight with Shang and his dad, every time that his dad would throw something at him with the rings, it was just like, all right, cool. So now I have another ring. Thank you.
Thank you.
Like, and it was like, I want to talk about like the fight choreography in particular here for a second.
It's amazing.
Obviously, that's a big part of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was beautiful. It was fantastic, and I know that, like, my sister, I love her to death. She's she's really into kung fu movies. I'm sure somebody who's really into kung fu movies would sit down and be like, I mean, it was okay, I guess. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because like you already have a head for like what it can be. But if you put it in the context of like this is a Marvel movie and they produced this as a kung fu movie, it's really well done.
It really is. Yeah. No, I mean, we call out Captain America: Winter Soldier as being a spy movie. Is it Is it one of the best spy movies? If you went in the category of spy movies, no. But is it Marvel's take on a spy movie, and is it really good?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You're right. Yeah. Exactly. Absolutely right.
And it's the same kind of thing where like I'm really excited for the next Doctor Strange because I want to see a Marvel horror movie.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't really like horror movies. I don't do well with them. But do I want to see do I want to see Doctor Strange go up against like weird eldritch beings? Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
Absolutely, I want to see that.
But you have the bus fight scene. Which
Fantastic.
is so much longer than you think it's going to be because there's so much
Right.
great fight choreography in that. You have the fighting at the arena, and then the fight scene after that when Shang has to fight the faceless
the
dude.
scaffolding.
Yeah, and well, there's also the scaffolding, which when he's kicking people off of that, I'm like, oh well, that guy's dead. Like, I get
Yeah.
it that people are dying, but like that guy's dead.
Yeah, like no, he done. I think there's some moral ambiguity there, with the fact that it's his dad's dudes.
True.
And at this point, he's like, "No, my dad sucks. Like, my dad is a terrible person. So, like, anybody that works for him, like, okay, bye."
No, yeah, they've signed their fate by being part of his dad's. I was about to say League of Shadows.
I mean, is it not?
It's exactly it. That's exactly what it is. But it's the Army of the Ten Rings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you have that. You have the fighting with the dude in the mask that trained Shang how to fight, and then you get the stuff at the Mystical City. Like there's some great fight scenes in this.
I wanted to know more about the dude in the mask.
So did I, and I know he or she has a name. I think they kept it ambiguous on purpose and rightly so. Like it's a good character.
It's a really cool character, and I'm sure that at some point, because obviously we're going to get more Shang-Chi stuff, we're going to find out.
But I mean, I'm sure in flashback and character building for Shang-Chi, because that character gets its soul sucked out.
Yeah, but like at the same time, it's a mask. It
True.
could be anybody.
It could. You're absolutely right. It could be anybody.
Like,
could be.
it could be like a position in the structure. Like you now wear the mask. Congratulations, or like whatever it needs to be. Because I feel like everybody else is just out here wearing like stealthy stuff, and you're out here with just a big old white kabuki face.
But you also have one of your generals is Razor Fist. So is that also a position? Do you have to have your hand cut off and put a giant razor blade on it?
Which at first I thought was kick ass, and then when you see his car, I'm like, oh,
He's that guy.
like Marvel. Can you just give us somebody who's a bad guy that's just cool?
Yeah, they
Can you
did.
just leave him at that?
They gave us Killmonger.
Okay, fair. he was just rad the whole way through.
Yeah, so some of the things I had issue with. One, the leader, Shang's father, Wu Win, has these 10 rings, has lived for 1,000 years. The first thing that we see him go up against is that walled off kingdom, right? And he goes out there as a single person, uses the rings to defeat all those guys by himself, and then basically get a way for his army to go in. How has he not just taken over the world 1,000 years ago?
Right. I think that was kind of what they were getting at, was the fact that eventually he moved past like full conquering, and he was like taking down governments and like running, like being the shadow
So League of Shadows.
government. Yeah, he was being like the shadow government behind everything.
Okay.
It was like what he was doing.
And then in 1996, he meets a woman. He's like, I'm going to give it all up. I'm cool.
Right. He's like, I got all the money anybody could ever need. I'm going to go do the thing over here. Like, and then he gets mad and he's like, I got to put him back on.
They killed my lady. So then you have the postcard that Shang has. He says, after he gets attacked on the bus, he's like, I have to go save my sister. I think she sent me this postcard. We get to the place where his sister is, find out that she didn't send him the postcard. So who sends him the postcard? Is it his father? Why? That doesn't make any sense. Why does his father need the both of them to be in the same place to capture them? He could easily get to both of them at any time.
Right. I'm going to chalk it up to convenient exposition.
Okay. Yes, and see, that's what I'm just like. It's not a big hole, but it's a plot hole for me, and it just for some reason kept tugging at me. Now, here's another thing.
It was his mom.
It was what?
What if it was his? What if it was his mom?
So if it was his mom, and we're just saving that for the next movie, it's a weird loop to just leave out there, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll agree. I want. Never mind. You had a point that you were going to make. Next.
Well, I'm truly just picking nits here, and I know I am, but we get to weird editing, and I know at the beginning when Shang is talking to Katie's grandmother, and Katie's grandmother's like, hey, when are you gonna marry her? And he's like, we're just friends. Now, in most other movies, that's the line he throws out there, but eventually he sees her, without the glasses on and not a ponytail and no paint on her overalls, and he's like, oh, I fell in love, like she's more than a friend kind of thing. That never happens in the movie, which is fine. We don't need to have a romantic interest between them. Platonic friendship, like relationship, is great. Like, I love that idea. However, they keep throwing in things where I think they were supposed to have a romantic relationship start to build, but they forgot to edit it out. So there's the scene when Shang is in the arena and he's not wearing his shirt, right? And
she's like, oh, whoa.
Yeah, she does the take back, like, oh, he's cute. Like, I think he's actually kind of thing. But they could have just cut that part out and left the part where she goes, what happened to your shirt? Because it's funny. It's a funny line. Just leave that in.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree. It would have worked both. It would have worked if they did all that. But I think it's kind of adds to the moment where she's just like, I think that's part of the reveal where like he's been living this like lie for her this whole time where she thought that he was just some like dude who couldn't fight. And then they get to this like a super seedy underground way above the ground fighting ring. Yeah. And now he's just like, yeah, I'm going to go fight. Cool. And he takes his shirt off and he's ripped and she's like, what? Like, you're hot, but like what?
Because it's literally the Paul Rudd and Ant-Man moment. It's the Chris Pratt in Guardians of the Galaxy. It's the same. It's Chris Evans coming out of the chamber at the first thing. It's fine. It's fine. Ripped dudes is fine. We're gonna.
Is it fine, Mitch?
I think it's fine.
You okay, Mitch? Do you need to talk about it?
No, I don't need to talk about it anymore. The last thing I wanted to bring up, and once again, I know it's my own fault because I'm writing the movie in my head as I'm watching it instead of what I'm not accepting what it is that they're giving me. So we have this storyline of Katie's grandfather dying, right? Like he brought the family to America and he ends up passing away at some point in their past. We also know that Shang, his first assignment, he had to come to America and kill somebody. And first he tells everybody that he didn't kill the person, but then eventually he lets Katie know that, yes, I actually did kill that person. I was expecting him to be like, and that person was your grandfather, like for whatever reason. But that didn't happen. So it just seemed like a weird loop that they left open that we didn't get to find out who that person was that Shang killed when he came to America.
I think it'll come back around.
You think so?
I think it will. It's too obvious a plot hook.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to build some tension between the two of them.
Mm-hmm. So
Because they set her up to be like the sidekick. You know what I mean? Like to be there for the foreseeable, because she gets pulled into the sanctum to talk about the rings, and she was there for the fight. She was helping. She did all the driving, so on. She's a part of the team now.
she is.
So in the future, if you want to build some tension, if you want to break up the team for a little bit, have it come out that the dude that he killed was her grandpa.
There you go. You're right.
And then she's like, "What the hell? You killed my granddad." And he's like, "Look, I didn't have to tell you. I was trying to lie to you anyway, and you decided to make me tell you the truth." Like, now, boom. Just add water, instant beef.
There you go. You're right. I should just be more patient. I understand.
Just, you suck, Mitch.
So one thing that I did not pick up on this myself, I did see this on the internet, and I'm not saying this is true, but someone suggested this, speculated this. Wu Win, the dweller in the dark, is behind that gate that's being protected by the Great Protector, right? Mm-hmm. Calls out to him as his wife, saying, "Hey, come help me. Hey, I need your help. Hey, I'm stuck here behind this gate. Please let me out." What if that was also what was calling to Wanda at the end of WandaVision when she thought she heard her kids?
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah.
Because they said when he put the rings back on, that was what made him one of the most powerful people in the world, thus knowing that he would be able to break open the gate. Who else is super powerful?
Wanda. But would that mean that Strange has also heard it?
I don't know. Is he powerful enough without the time stone in his Eye of Agamotto?
That's a fair question. I don't know. That's a really fun thing to speculate on. Another one that I was reading about was what if at the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, when Sharon
Carter, yeah.
Yeah, bad at names today. When Sharon's on the phone at the end as the power broker talking to whoever it is, what if she's talking to
Xialing?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's completely understandable. Like
like, why not?
I would assume Madripoor and Macau are not too far apart from each other.
Right, and they run in similar circles,
Mm-hmm.
and it would make total sense that one is parlaying with the other for some sort of deal. Most likely coming to the power broker to be like, "Look, you have influence. I'm trying to do this thing. Are we going to play ball or what?" Like, I like that idea.
I dig it too. One of the things also, so one of the mid-credit scene, when you have, like you brought it up, Wong coming in and grabbing Shang and Katie, and then them showing them the rings, like the inside of the rings, and how it has some kind of beacon going off. This has to go right into Eternals, right? Because those rings have to come from the Eternals.
I would think so.
It makes sense.
Yeah, because they're like, it's not in anything we have. These are super ancient. Like, so it's the Eternals.
And then one thing that I totally did not pick up on in the 2 viewings that I watched this movie, Bruce Banner is Bruce Banner. He's not Smart Hulk.
Yeah, he's Banner again.
What? What are we talking about here? After he became Smart Hulk and like he's explaining it to us, he's like, I put the two together, best of both worlds. Like, why would I not do this? Like, kind of thing. And then at the end of Endgame, he's still the Hulk. He just has his arm in a sling. So why the hell is he Bruce Banner again?
I mean, my first thought is, you're gonna feed the Hulk in this economy? Like, really?
Fair. Well, use Pym particles. You can make things that are really small, really big. One kernel of corn could feed the Hulk for like a week.
The other one would be like, well, Hulk got tired.
Fair. That could definitely be it. I could see.
Hulk needed a vacation.
One of the things that I was speculating is that it's going to tie into the She-Hulk show, and like whatever it is, he's going to give up his Hulkness so that Jennifer can live, kind of thing.
Oh, that'd be
Maybe.
I can see that happening.
It's a thing that could happen.
Yeah, I'd be on board. I'm excited to see what happens with the whole She-Hulk thing. I've said it before. If it's not just a courtroom drama, I am going to be on.
Great Protector. What did you think of that?
I enjoyed it. The whole sequence fighting along the back of the Great Protector was really cool.
Mm-hmm. And the Kamehameha. I'm not a Dragon Ball person. How do you pronounce the bomb?
Kamehameha.
Yeah. Like I dug it when he had all the 10 rings like in the ball, and then I dug it when he was just like falling to the earth, which is very Kung Fu Hustle, which we saw a Kung Fu Hustle poster in his bedroom, and then also the guy who teaches Katie how to use the bow and arrow. He's from he's in Kung Fu Hustle also, but like he's just falling to the earth, and then he's manipulating the rings inside the Dweller in the Dark. Like that was so cool.
It was really good. Talking about the old guy Archer for a second, I really liked him, and I wanted more of him. Specifically with the whole like they're getting ready to fight, and Katie goes and picks up the bow, and he just like walks by and puts it back and is like, no. Like, we need all the help we can get, but not from you.
But not you.
And then like halfway through the fight, she picks up a bow, and he's like, just don't die. Your blood's not on my hands. All right, I tried. And he was cool. I liked him. I felt like he was jaded for a reason, and he was just like, he's the one in this movie that should have been saying, "I am too old for this shit."
I'm sure he was saying it in his language,
right?
Which is another amazing thing about this movie. I would say a good 50% of this movie is done in in other languages. Like they made Marvel people, like people who go to watch Marvel movies, sit and read subtitles. That's insane. I was blown away by it.
I don't understand how you take an audience of people that's just like, haha, Iron Man go Bert, and make them read subtitles, which is fantastic.
But in the 2 weeks that it's been out, it's making the money, so that I'm super happy about it.
And the best thing about it, I was worried that it was gonna have like Iron Fist syndrome.
Oh, I'm glad it didn't. I'm glad it made past that.
So glad it didn't. Because we had somebody who actually knew what they were doing and actually showed up to rehearsals and, took their role seriously. And just, it was good.
It was really good. I did, like I said, I had my issues with it, but it was good.
I know you said towards the top that, like, it's not in the top of your list, it's not in the bottom of your list, it's kind of floating in the middle. I would agree with that. I think it's floating in the middle for now. I think as phase 4 develops, there is total room for it to shift.
Fair.
Like, depending on what this sets up for anything down the line in phase 4, if this becomes like, oh man, that was genius, they've been planning for this for like 4 years, then like there's a total chance that it could bump up into my top 10.
Yep.
But as of right now, I'd put it at like a solid maybe 13.
Okay. I can dig that. Anything else that you want to talk about the movie?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie. So yeah, if you made it this far and you hadn't watched it yet, you're crazy for listening to us talk about the whole movie. But go out and watch
it now.
Yeah. If you feel safe, go out and watch it. Or yeah, congratulations, you now know the whole thing.
Yeah, that'll be $5, please.
All right, if you want to talk to me about this movie, Please find me on Twitter. I am at Mitchipedia, GEM. GEM stands for Geek Elite Media. Ian, where can people find you online?
If you want to find me, you can find me over at twitch.tv/IanFlux and at IanFlux12 on Twitter. Most social media platforms, I'm some variation thereof of IanFlux. It's either IanFlux or IanFlux12, depending on what I could grab up. So just come follow me. Say, hey, let's talk. Let's chat. Tell me if tell me if my opinion on this movie is wrong, so I can tell you that you're wrong. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Mitch, I heard that we have a Patreon.
That's right. You might have heard it in this very episode. So you check out patreon.com/geekelitemedia. You can be one of our patrons and get exclusive material that only our patrons have access to. Also, go check out our website, geekelitemedia.com, for archived episodes of this podcast and other podcasts on our network. If you want to talk to anybody else on social media from our network, just go to @geekelitemedia on Twitter and Instagram, and then also facebook.com/geekelitemedia. But until next time, this is Journey into Mystery on the Geek Elite Media Network, saying always remember to geek out.
Geek out.
This concludes our broadcast.